What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. This is Kate TV. I am your host, Kate. Today, we are going to be talking about yet another disturbing topic, and that is the digital ID rollout happening across the pond right now. But before I go ahead and get into it, if you are enjoying my channel so far and you like these reactionary style type videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like, share with your friends, leave a comment down below and say hello. I would love to get to know you and have you be a part of our little community that I'm building over here. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers right now, so I would really appreciate it if you would help me get there. So without talking your ear off, I'm going to shut up now. We're going to listen to David Curtin. He's going to tell us about digital ID.
Good morning, everybody. Now, the idea of digital identity has reared its ugly head again in the United Kingdom. You must remember the times of COVID, lockdown, etc. The government of the day, it was Johnson, wasn't it, who was Prime Minister then? I can't believe the two things are in the same sentence there, Johnson and Prime Minister. But when he was, they tried to introduce vaccine passports. And a lot of people got these things and had to get them in order to travel and in order to go into football matches and concerts and nightclubs and things like this. It was a terrible time.
Yeah, I remember when people here in the United States took them so that they could get a free Krispy Kreme donut or French fries. And I have to say, I think that was probably peak pathetic over here in the United States. I think it doesn't get worse than that, but you know, maybe it does. I don't know. I guess this might be the next thing.
I decided that I wasn't going to get one of these passports, extra vaccine passports, because that would require you to get injected in order to get one of these passports to travel. And therefore, you know, I couldn't travel. But in that time, a lot of people acquiesced and they got an injection, knowing that they didn't need it, just in order to travel and go on holiday. And now some people are left with terrible health consequences. We know that. I don't need to go into that. That's, you know, that's another issue. What's happening right now in this year is the government is introducing a new bill to Parliament. It's called the Data Use and Access Bill. And what it's going to do is allow companies to provide digital identity services that will be validated by the government, and they will get some kind of trust symbol. And it's being marketed in the papers yesterday, bizarrely, to young people, saying that young people will no longer have to carry their ID around with them, driving license and passports, in order to get access to nightclubs and pubs.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I know of a lot of people that would fall for that immediately here in the United States. The young people, we're so dumb. We really are. We have like this inability to think about the future and like future generations. And it makes sense that, you know, the government, they know this about us. And so they target us first for this kind of crap because we would be the first dumb enough to fall for it for something like that, you know?
They'll be able to have an app on their phone, show a QR code and get instant access to nightclubs and pubs. I mean, why that's necessary, I don't know, because at the moment you can have a driving license and a passport. I don't need an app on my phone in order to go in somewhere. Well, I don't think I would really ask my ID anyway to check that I'm over 18. I'm very obviously over 18. But the dangerous thing here, that it's not just going to be limited to pubs and clubs, places that sell alcohol. It may also be restaurants. If you want to go somewhere and have a meal, they're even talking about entry to shops. Why you would need a digital ID in order to go into a shop and do some shopping, I don't know. That sounds very nefarious.
See, to me, when I hear that, I immediately think about all of the shoplifting that's going on here in the United States and how nobody does anything about it. And I guarantee you the reason they're letting it happen the way that they are is because they want to pull out this kind of crap and be like, oh, well, you have to present your ID now to go shopping. And then everybody would fall for it because everyone's so sick of the shoplifting. Like, let's be honest here. We're all freaking sick of it.
To me, and I certainly don't want to support anything that will take us back to the horrible days of 2020, 2021, where people had to queue up to go into the supermarket just to buy food. And, you know, you didn't have to prove your identity then, but it looks like this is a track towards a situation where you will have to have some kind of app on your phone to prove your identity to go shopping. So digital ID, you know, linked to some kind of social credit system, like the is in you have in China, as we know, as they tried to bring in 2020, 2021, but people resisted, I think, and they didn't get the fullness of what they wanted to do. They didn't get the full control over people because so many people resisted having vaccine passports. They just didn't take them up to the level that they wanted them. They wanted every single person in the country to take it up. And yes, a significant number did, but a significant number didn't, and said, I'm never, ever going to get one of these things, and I'm never, ever going to get an injection.
I'm very curious. Anybody watching this video, let me know down below if you did or did not get the jab. I'm just very curious how many people got it. And I hope I don't get censored even for using that word. I'm just trying to use whatever words YouTube's not going to censor. But I'm just really curious how many people actually got it. And then I'm curious, are you still taking them? Are you hesitant at all about pharmaceuticals ever since that time? Or do you feel like it's still perfectly safe? I'm just trying to gauge like how many people feel like hesitant about it now because of that. Because for me personally, like I'm extremely hesitant now, but it's not just because of that time. I also had a really bad experience with the medical system that kind of originally instilled hesitancy in me. And then when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just figure out how to find, you know, like an herbalist or somebody who knows about natural medicine and you know, natural healing plants and stuff because I don't know, I just don't really trust pharmaceuticals at this point.
And you know, there were 10 million or more people in the UK who stood against this, and therefore they couldn't bring it in because there wasn't, you know, 100% take up. They're also talking about needing a digital ID to pay your taxes. Why you need it to do that? I mean, for most people, they just take it out of your bank account or take it out of your wages anyway, if you're salaried. And also to open a bank account, which again is quite disturbing, was why would you need the digital ID to open a bank account? You don't need one at the moment. Yes, you do need to prove your ID. You can show your passport. You can show letters. They require you to show proof of address. So you take in a couple of letters showing that you live where you live. But what this wants to do is get all of your data, including your address, I assume your date of birth, and your photograph, your biometrics, onto an app that's run by a private company in partnership with the government. So here, this is another third sector initiative, private-public partnerships, blurring the line between government and civil society. You know, if the government wants to do this, you know, and I don't think they should do it, well, they should run it themselves and have something, you know, you have it just run by the government itself, not by a private company or lots of different private companies that then get certified by the government, probably get subsidies from the government as well. So the people who are the CEOs of these companies get a nice little, you know, wedge to put in their pocket for introducing and continuing the agenda of digital identity and totalitarian control. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I don't. But you know, this is doubly bad because we shouldn't have digital ID, and it shouldn't be, you know, a scheme for private companies that are in the favor of government to get some more taxpayers' money in order to enslave us who pay the taxes. It's doubly wrong. It's probably triply and quadruply wrong.
Yeah. So not only do you have to get this digital ID to participate in society, all your information is going to privatized corporations. Isn't that nice? Whew. You guys are in trouble over there in the UK, guys. I'm praying for y'all over there. If you're watching this video and you're over there, leave a comment down below, and I'd love to talk to you because I've been seeing a lot coming out of the UK lately, and it's looking really dystopian over there.
As I go on, I'll probably think of more things why it's wrong. So yes, and here's another one. See, in some of the reports about this that were all over the mainstream media yesterday, one of them spoke about there's going to be a scheme for, or there's already a trial scheme for 250,000 veterans to be able to access something called digital veteran cards. And it says this will speed up access to services and support programs. Now, why should it be that if you don't have a digital ID, if you're a veteran, that you are not going to get sped up access to services? You shouldn't be at a disadvantage. The services that are provided to you should not be slower and more difficult to access if you choose not to have a digital ID. So this is another thing. You see, what they're saying is it's not going to be compulsory. That's made, that's said in these articles. Whether that will, that's a bait and switch probably, but they're saying at the moment it won't be compulsory. But what does appear to be happening is that with these things, when they're brought in, you're going to have an apartheid system. So you have a digital ID, you get access to everything quicker and easier. But if you choose to keep your data private, to live life as you've always done with no need to put your ID and your data on some app with some company that heaven knows what it's going to do with it, then your life is made more difficult because you don't get entry to certain things, or it takes longer to get into certain places, or you don't get access to certain services as quickly as other people. And you know how these things go. People drag their heels so much and so for so long that your life is made so difficult if you don't go along with the program, that eventually people say, well, I just need to get this digital ID because it's going to make my life more convenient, more simple, more easy, more quick.
That's exactly what they did with the jabs too. That's how they get us to do things. If fear doesn't work, that's like their number one tactic. But if that doesn't work, they're going to make life so difficult for you and inconvenient that they're going to bring you to your knees, and you're not going to have a choice but to take it. It's going to feel like there's no other option. Crazy.
And this is in itself coercion. And this kind of coercion is completely morally wrong. And they're already hinting at this, talking about the veteran, the digital veteran cards that they're going to bring in quite soon as a trial.
Isn't it so messed up that governments always seem to experiment on their military population? Like the people that literally go and sacrifice their lives and put their life on the line for the sake of the country, they are the first to be treated like guinea pigs by the government. It's so sick. It truly is.
Before they roll it out with these companies for everyone, first of all looking like they're going to target young people and then roll it out to more people across the country. You know how it goes. You know how it goes with the injections when they rolled them out. First of all, it's like, well, we need to shield the elderly, and then we'll end the lockdown. And then it's like, well, then it's everyone over 50. The headline, 15 million jabs to freedom. Then they jabbed everyone who was over 50. And then it's like, well, no, we need to do people in their 30s and 40s then, and people in their 20s, and then children, and then even babies. So this was a lie. It was a complete bait and switch, step by step by step. They promised, if you just take this, then you can have freedom. That was back in the days of the lockdown. It's a slightly different operation here, but they're trying to use a carrot at the moment, but I'm sure the stick is not far behind. And what we need to do is simply say no en masse in our tens of millions. We are never going to get a digital ID. I'm going to stick to using paper forms of identification. I have my passport, I have my driving license, I have proof of address. And that's always worked all my life. I've never needed a digital ID. I don't need a digital ID now. Society doesn't need a digital ID. And this is a slippery slope on the way to totalitarianism, where you will end up having to prove ourselves on an app connected to central bank digital currency and a social credit scoring system just to go into the shop and buy some potatoes. You know, it's not going to stay just with proving your identity for young people who want to buy alcohol and go into a club.
No.
You know, things that not many people do in wider society. I mean, I did when I was younger, but I don't do that anymore. I think the last time I went to a club was over 10 years ago. I don't do that anymore. But there you go. But so I don't need it for that. But I will obviously need to go shopping in the future, to buy food and to access services. I guess I don't access any government services at the moment. I don't need anything off the government at the moment, but people who use the NHS, I suppose. I mean, I use the NHS sparing very, very occasionally. I try not to. Sometimes you're worse off going to the NHS than if you don't. I mean, sorry, I'm laughing, but it's just a number of people. It's not funny. The number of people who have obviously been injected by NHS agents, and they're far, far worse off than if they've not gone at all. Makes me. It's I shouldn't say it makes me laugh, but because it's not funny. But they're portraying this as something, we're doing something good for you, but actually you go and you get harmed by these things. So, I don't need a digital ID to identify government services, or certainly not to pay taxes. I mean, if they want taxes, they can come and get them. I'm not gonna anyway. No, better not go down that route, because someone will use my words against me. But there you go. Digital identity. Just say no.
Yeah. Just say no, guys. Honestly, we know the blueprint. We know the book that these people use. They've used it over and over again. This is how they get us to do things. We're all in an abusive relationship with our governments. Are we going to stay and just let them keep kicking us and putting their boot on our neck and beating us up? I mean, that's what they're doing. And make no mistake, they're going to try to implement this here in the United States 100%. Like, they're crashing the dollar on purpose. They're destroying everything on purpose, because this is the end goal. Like, digital surveillance, Palantir, we talked about this on this channel before, like the digital surveillance of everybody. It's all leading somewhere, okay? And it's not a bright future that we're going if we all keep going this way. Yeah, see, like this is a wonderful little diagram here for you to end the video. I really appreciate you watching if you made it this far, and I will see you in the next one, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.